¿Listo?
Sí. ¿Tú?
Bien, la cama está
¿Cómo? Oh, yeah, I was born ready. She's gonna need to press start, so let them.
This is a longer conversation.
I'm not.
Okay, let's go classic. Just took one. I have a live relatives in Canada. Okay, so you'll give us the same actually go through that too. Because the youngest is gonna. My dad's the oldest. She's the youngest. And she went to school in nursing.
Buenos días, buenos días. Good morning. We're gonna get started very soon. ¿Cómo están todos? How is everybody? I don't know if I heard that. Good morning. How is everybody? I heard a couple. We're getting there. Should I say it in Buenos días a todos? ¿Cómo les va esta mañana? How is everybody doing this morning? All right, that's better. That's better. You should be proud that you're here today, by the way. No? Okay. All right. Excellent. Shall we begin? We shall. All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. On behalf of the Immigrant Defense Network, COPAL, our partners, organizers, artists, sponsors, and community leaders, thank you for being here. This summit was created with intention, not simply a gathering, but to align. Not simply to talk, but to build something. Not simply to respond to a moment, but to shape what comes next. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
I still can't hear you. Can we agree on that? It's amazing. My name is Mauricio Montes de Oca. I'm a political activist, community organizer, create spaces for people to belong. I'm a public speaker. I was also told I was never going to speak English at age 16. So never let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do.
Yes.
Now I'm going to introduce you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio. 안녕하세요, Shinzo, everyone. Can I get a 안녕하세요 from all of you? Love it. All right, 안녕하세요, Shinzo. Good morning. My name is Bibeng Mo. I am the director of the Hmong program here at the University of Minnesota. An amazing opportunity to represent today and honored to be here as one of your MCs. Now, we are here today because our communities have carried harm, but we have carried also resilience, memory, and power. We are here because across Minnesota and upper Midwest, immigrant, refugee, Black, Indigenous, Latino, Hmong, Somali, Asian, Muslim, workers, rural, and multiracial communities all across Minnesota are choosing courage over fear. And all of you guys in here are choosing courage over fear as a community. Give yourselves a big round of applause, please. So before we begin, we want to recognize the families of Renee Good, Alex Preddy, Adrian Conejo Arias, Erica Ramos, and Chongli Scott Tao, amongst many others. We honor your resilience, your grief, and your continued fight. Your presence reminds us that this work is not abstract. It is about people. It is about families. It is about memory, histories, justice, and most important, it is also about accountability.
I want us to sit with that for a second, too. And here, this gathering represents one of the largest regional conventions focused on immigration, democracy, to me, one of the most important, human rights, but also community power. We also want to thank the sponsors, the partners, supporters who made this possible. Your investment is not just in this event. It's in creating an infrastructure, in organizing, in helping us create a narrative of power, in the long-term work of defending dignity and democracy.
And to officially welcome us and ground us in why this summit matters so much. We are honored to welcome a leader who has stood alongside immigrant communities and helped advance this work with vision, with urgency, and with heart. Please join me in welcoming a valued partner of the Immigrant Defense Network, St. Paul Mayor Colleen Hearn.
Good morning, everyone. I wore my Hummingbird college shirt today because I know that in my work with the Latinx community, Hummingbird is very significant, but it's also significant for me because it became my symbol of hope when I worked with Melissa Hortman, that every single time we went to door knock, I would see hummingbirds only when I would door knock and only when I didn't know if we were going to win races. And every single time we were able to either hold and get the majority or hold it at an even split so that we wouldn't have our friends across the aisle creating policies that would really continue to hurt us. And so I'm carrying a symbol of hope with all of you today. And I hope that as you go through these next 2 days that you think about that and understand that we've been through a lot, but we are hopeful about what the outcome can be. And that now I have the hope that America now sees what our federal government can do and that we will continue to resist and fight with each other against our federal government. So carry that hope with you as you go through these next few days together. I want to thank the Immigrant Defense Network for your continued leadership, partnership, and unwavering commitment to protecting and uplifting our immigrant communities. I also want to recognize the community leaders, the advocates, the organizers, volunteers, and residents who stepped up during Operation Metro Surge and who continue to stand with and defend our neighbors every day. Today, we gather not only to reflect on the challenges our communities have faced, but also to celebrate the courage, solidarity, and compassion that emerged in response. Operation Metro Surge brought fear, uncertainty, and disruption to countless families across our region. Yet in the moment of challenge, we witnessed something powerful, neighbors showing up for neighbors. The world saw our communities organize, mobilize, and raise their voices. They saw us distribute resources, defend the rights of our neighbors, and stand together in the face of injustice. And we mourn the loss of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, whose courage and commitment reminded us that protecting one another is a shared responsibility. The true story of this moment is not one of fear, it is a story of resilience, compassion, and solidarity. As I've reflected on my experience as mayor and on our administration's actions during Operation Metro Surge, I keep returning to one guiding principle: leading with courage and compassion. Those values guided us when, in partnership with the Minneapolis City Attorney's Office and the Minnesota Attorney General's Office, we filed a first-in-nation lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and related agencies and officials, challenging the constitutionality and legality of the ICE surge in Minnesota. Those values guided us when we enacted ordinances to prohibit the use of city-owned property for law enforcement staging operations, restricted access to non-public city facilities, required clear and visible identifications for officers, and limit the use of mask and facial covering during operations except in narrowly defined circumstances. Those values guided us when I provided testimony before the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights, spoke before the legislature about the economic impact this crisis has had on our communities, and engaged with direct directly with hundreds of residents and dozens of community organizations. There's much that we learn from all of this, and really, as I stand before all of you, what I want you to know is that what we've been through is deeply personal for me. That I came to this country as a refugee, that many of the people that were targeted and those who were detained and some that were taken away were close to me. They were family members. They were people who I knew. Chung Lee Scott, his mother and my mother-in-law were really close back in Laos. They were both first nurses when they were 16 years old, working at the Sam Tong Hospital, where they took care of wounded American soldiers. It is that a woman who fought for a democracy and took care of soldiers who were fighting for democracy with them, whose son was taken away as an American citizen in the way that he was, that is what our country did. It was so deeply personal to me. And I think that when we think about the policy work that was done, when we have official power, those are the levers that we pulled, what I spoke about. But the truth is that I was showing up just as a community member. Right at the beginning, when I wasn't sure what to do, I was locking and unlocking doors at the Mercado in my city. I was delivering groceries to people and saw firsthand how afraid people were, that they knew we called ahead to let them know the mayor was delivering their groceries, and they were too afraid to open their doors, even for me. That when we were going in for removal, with individuals with removal orders, and I was going to the Whipple building back in June already, before Metro Surge started, I was already sounding the alarm then that something awful was happening. Because in the beginning of June, I was going into these check-ins, and we knew that if more of us went together, ICE was less likely to grab one of these individuals during their check-in. And by July already, the community members were telling me, you don't have to come with me anymore. And I asked why, and they said, we're just gonna hide our person for the next 3 years. That back then, we were already taking drastic actions to protect those people we love and those in community. And that what we saw culminate, that is what the worst that happens when our government fights against us, when our government does not care about our constitutional rights, when our government does not respect our autonomy as individuals, and that the founding principles of our country, that we take the poor, the weary, that we take the huddled masses, that they turn their back on what it is that our country stands for. And so as we think about how we move forward, and our promise to each other is that when we have official power, use it, do something with it. But all of us have powers in some ways, in showing up for each other, that was the greatest power. The resistance came from the people. What ended up happening and federal government leaving wasn't because I sued the government. It wasn't because we passed ordinances at the city in order to, disallow them from using our facilities. It was because all of you. It was because I went to half a dozen constitutional observers training, and I knew what I was supposed to do if I was in that moment. It was because all of you showed up and you protected your neighbors in the thousands. Our government could not deny what was happening here. And that power, we all have that power. And to hold that power with each other as you move through these next few days. My promise to all of you is that I will continue to lead with courage and compassion as we move forward together. That we are stronger than fear. We are stronger than division. And that together we will remain stronger than any challenge before us. Thank you so much for letting me be in this space with all of you today and letting me be just a little part of your day. And I look forward to continuing to work with all of you and be a part of the resistance and moving forward and how we make this country a better place and how we create a model for everyone else to follow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Hurd, for joining us and for recognizing the importance of immigrant communities, democracy, public leadership in this moment. I want us to look around the room as well. Take a moment to look around the room. You see familiar faces? If they're not familiar, you should get to know them. You will have time. Be with each other. Be present.
And you all are the amazing fabrics of what the possibilities can be moving forward as well. And you all are inspirations to our community, and we want to thank you. Now, let us gather and take a breath together. We are together holding many things in this room. Grief, exhaustion, hope, strategy, urgency, and love. May this summit be a place where we are honest about the harm, clear about the stakes, and brave enough to build what our communities deserve. To help us ground in this moment, it is with great honor to now welcome Wakea Lapointe. Wakea Lapointe is a citizen of the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Nation and a longtime member of the Twin Cities American Indian community. He is a researcher, Indigenous human rights advocate to the United Nations, and a UN Indigenous Program Fellow of 2023. He and his brother Thorn will be leading us today in a traditional offering for this morning. Welcome.
Takiapi, Diana Chiankapelo, Wakia Machiapi, Chichang Hula Kota Tamagochi, Mantahan, Lena Unglakapite Cha, Umawapite Nahan, which Ozani, Unapite Uchibelo. Today we come to stand in solidarity with our communities. We've been through so much together in these past months, and this summit and gathering is a place and time to galvanize that collective power, that collective healing, that collective voice, wisdom, intelligence. So we're here to offer our songs to help us start in a good way. And we find ourselves now in the land of Nishota Makoche. Say that with me. Nishota Makoche. And our Dakota relatives say that Nishota means the land that reflects the waters and the clouds that reflect the waters. And in the Western way, they call it the land of 10,000 lakes. And for many indigenous peoples now here in Nishota, this land that forms our identities of indigenous peoples is not just land-based, but water-based. You'll find that many indigenous peoples throughout the world derive their identities from water. But just like water, we understand that our issues that our communities face are interconnected. And in our ways, we always say that water connects us all. And we do not separate our communities from each other, much like the Western thinker or the Western state does. It would have us believe that we are separate from one another, but we are not. In our way, we say that we are of one heart and one mind. We say, Chante Wanji, Nakawa Wanji. That's a value that our elders have instilled in us as singers. And when we provide this song, when we offer this song in this traditional offering, we hope that everyone will take some healing, some energy, some motivation with them into the next 2 days of this summit to inspire thought, to galvanize the ideas and possibilities that have emerged for you over the past months.
Hello, relatives. My Lakota name is Broken Leg. My English name is Thorn Lapointe. It's an honor to be here today in solidarity with everyone. I call you my relatives because in our way, my grandfather used to say, we could say we're a community, but without relatedness, there is no community. We cannot expect to have democracy without a sense of relatedness. For us going forward, we have to remember voices raised here the next 2 days and understand our struggles. Because I see going forward now that my struggle is not separate from anyone else's struggle. Indigenous people's struggle is not separate from immigrant struggles. They're interrelated. Just as we call for our rights to be respected and protected, we have to remember that only together can we rise to the occasion during this time. So to see 7 generations ahead, we have to reach 7 generations back and understand that this is for this generation, the generations to come, that community yet unborn, that we raise our voices and then body forth the policies agendas, the networks needed for the protection of our inherent rights to dignity, respect, and for those future generations. So today, I always remember our ancestors before we begin our prayer. The ancestors who said, acknowledge our existence or feel our resistance. Those relatives who stood up and raised their voices and said, if someone comes into your home and starts attacking your family, and you stand up to protect them, does that make you a criminal? So we'll always remember our relatives going forward and those words that we need to think about this generation, the 7 generations ahead as we move forward. So with that, relatives, we're going to offer this prayer, this good energy, this good vibrations to y'all. So with that, if you will, please stand with us for those of you who can.
Well, we ask that you offer your good thoughts and your good energy as we sing this song. And we'll follow our song with an offering of prayer in our Lakota language, or the language of the Ocheti Shakon, which means the 7 council fighters. And in this song, we simply say that we're sending our voice to our Creator, and that as common people related in one struggle and one life, this journey, we ask for help, guidance, and healing. Say thank you. You may be seated. In that offering, we ask for wisdom to be shared from the elders, here from the people, to be shared with the young ones, and that the future generations continue to walk with health, strength, and the power needed to create a good future with all the good things that are on their hearts and minds, and that our Creators see their dreams and help them to make them happen.